Tonight on CTV News, a major announcement regarding Chinese investors taking interest in this city. We'll bring you the very latest. And new figures show the cost of rentals are continuing to plateau.
Broadcasting across Canterbury. From the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Welcome to CTV News, live streaming every night at ctv.co.nz. Well, some news just into us here. Signed and sealed. The Christchurch City Council will see a major cash injection into the city's rebuild. Chinese development company Gaoxing International is interested in this city and is working with the Christchurch City Council to create a fund to help with future rebuilding opportunities. Up to $2 billion will be spent mostly on large-scale projects, and we'll have more on this late-breaking developing story later on the bulletin. To the day's other more positive story as well. Latest figures show the cost of rentals are continuing to drop throughout the city, and that's good news for those looking for rental accommodation. But will it last? Here's Jared McCulloch.
New research shows a decline in Christchurch rental prices over the past 5 months. The Canterbury property report sees nearly a 5% drop in pricing compared to last year.
People have got more choice. They're not having to grab the first rental property that they can, and they're not having to pay quite the money that they were previously. So that may mean that they're able to actually get a slightly better level of accommodation than they could in the past.
Before the quakes, the average residential price was sitting around $320, but since then that number has soared to $500, now taking a decline down $80.
There's certainly been a softening in rentals. The rents that people are having to pay for rental properties. There's also more choice out there, so rental properties are taking longer to lease, and the amount of rent's dropping. So those figures bear out what I've been experiencing firsthand.
Canterbury is one of 3 regions where prices have dropped, with the West Coast and Gisborne seeing the same trends over the space of a year.
Probably less people out there looking for rental properties, mainly people that have needed to shift out of their homes for earthquake repairs. The bulk of that's already happened, so there's less of those people that are out there in the rental market competing with the long-term renters.
With supply and demand of houses starting to flatten out.
I think the other factor is there's more houses available, possibly houses that have been repaired, seeing it's an opportunity to either enter or buy a further property if they're an existing investor. Now with more options for house hunters to pick from, Meechin believes the market will begin to calm down, making it easier for those to get a place to call home. It's a four-year period, so and while rents may not get back to where they were pre-earthquake, it's probably a little more realistic longer term in terms of what people are able to actually afford.
A similar trend in the long term.
I would think there's probably going to be a flattening out, so I would expect that maybe where rents are at the moment, I wouldn't anticipate that they would fall too much further.
Time will tell if the downward trend will continue. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
A judge has told a Phillipstown man to rise above his bad upbringing when the man admitted he went ram raiding just for fun. 22-year-old Hamish Alex McDonald had been jailed for 2 years and 1 month for stealing a car in July and using it to commit 3 ram raid robberies at 2 service stations and a dairy in New Brighton. He pled guilty to these charges and is set to begin his 3rd prison sentence. McDonald was on prison release conditions at the time he committed the ram raids. Well, more cases of whooping cough are being reported in the region, with medical experts urging parents to get their children vaccinated, with the small epidemic now taking hold in some parts of the region, as Jared McCulloch explains.
Whooping cough is on the rise around the region. The Canterbury District Health Board is aware of 16 cases in the last month, small clusters at some schools.
It can be treated, or the contacts can be prevented either by getting the vaccination, sometimes with antibiotics as well. So it's important that people get to see their doctor, but absolutely do not go to school if you're unwell.
Areas south of Canterbury reported cases of whooping cough last month, believed to have spread up the island. Nearly every 4-year period, cases of whooping cough increases, with smaller cases popping up in between.
We don't expect it to be one of these big outbreaks, but it's very important for parents to be vigilant. It's important for them to get the vaccination for their children, and it's important for them to keep their kids at home and go to the GP if their children are unwell.
Although Humphrey says the cases may not be as high compared to 2013, it still has an impact on a smaller scale.
It's not as concerning from a population perspective, but if you're in a family where you have whooping cough, it's a miserable time. It's bad for adults when they get it. It's extremely dangerous for infants when they get it.
He says support is there for suffering residents, especially those expecting a newborn.
The vaccine is free for pregnant women, and that's very important because it protects mums but also protects their newborn babies.
The bigger outbreaks can get into the hundreds, but the CDHB urges residents to get their jabs, but their push is to get them on time.
Whooping cough vaccination helps protect the community. It does help protect individuals, but it doesn't have 100% effectiveness. It reduces your risk. So it's important to have it, and it's important for as many of us to have it as possible. With the right kind of support from the community, with people making sure they get vaccinated, with children staying away from school when they're unwell, with the school holidays coming up so kids aren't mixing so much, hopefully we won't see a big increase.
Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
A renowned historical collection of photographs of inspirational Indian spiritual leader Gandhi is coming to Samhain next month. The collection of 34 seldom-seen photographs were taken during the 1940s, including portraits as well as never-before-seen candid snaps. The Samhain Arts Trust, together with the Council, will be presenting the photographic exhibition at venues including Lincoln and Darfield. The exhibition is set to open on Gandhi's birthday. No coincidence, we're told. This is a free public event, with the second weekend of the exhibition coinciding with the Lincoln Multicultural Festival. We're coming up shortly here on CTV News, a look at your local weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Christchurch Police are urging people to be vigilant when it comes to online and email scams, with several recent complaints regarding fraudulent behaviour. Detective Sergeant Craig Farrett says people from all ages and backgrounds are falling victim to false promises and fake offers. He says no one in the community is immune from being a target. Farrett says if it seems too good to be true, well, you know the rest. In real life, he says one doesn't simply become a long-distant relative or a Nigerian prince or win a lottery. He says the numbers being scammed are in fact growing and urges people to consider these tips to avoid being scams, including legitimate offers never require you to withdraw money, research a deal or investment opportunity, and remember, if it's a scam, it's highly unlikely you will get your money back. For more information, you can check out scamwatch.govt.nz for more information and advice. Well, it went up in flames, but now looks to be reopening. The Barrington Playground is set to be rebuilt thanks to community support. Chelsea Daniels has more.
Barrington Park is soon to be open again, sooner than we expected, with the playground set to open to the public by October 10th.
We're going to have a sausage sizzle and a celebration with the community because this rebuild, the rebuild of the slide, was community-led. And I can tell you it was led by Sarah Pullman, who's now chairperson of the Addington Residents Association. It was led by Jeff Poulter of Barrington, Ray White, and he was the one who opened the Give a Little website.
The community was left reeling after the loss of its beloved playground when an arsonist set fire to the site, located next door to Barrington Mall.
It was set fire to. We don't know who. It's the kinds of things people with a lot of time on their hands and not a lot of goals in life perhaps it's the kind of thing that they do, but it was destructive and it was to the detriment of the children of the area and their parents.
And the public have had a hand in the rebuild process.
They led us. We didn't lead them. I shouldn't be here. Sarah Pullman should be here, and Jeff Poulter should be here, and Ivan Lawson should be here, and the community should be here because they've contributed small sums and some big ones. And it's them that's led to the rebuild of the slide, which cost a heck of a lot more than you would think.
The playground is not covered by any of the City Council's insurance policies, but the community wouldn't take no for an option.
Insuring parks is almost impossible and costs heaps, more than the council can really afford, you know, and that's understandable. I can understand that, and especially when there's people going around, you know, occasionally doing what they did here. But we're hoping that the cameras will give us some security.
The rebuild of the playground comes at around about $40,000, with the council fronting half and the community board coughing up $5,000.
Half of which is on the safety flooring underneath the slide ground, the safety ground underneath the slide, and you wouldn't know that.
She says the future of playgrounds in the city is exciting.
We asked them to look at disability access. Now, I know they can't change the disability access for the whole playground, but we asked them to have a think about it in terms of the slide. And I'm not sure what's happened there, but I know that playgrounds from now on have got increasing disability access so that all people can come and enjoy themselves.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
A 25-year-old vision is about to become a reality as a trail around the city opens shortly. Hundreds of volunteers from Rotary groups and the Summit Road Society are working hard to mark out the 135-kilometre trail with markers. Christchurch 360 is divided into 8 legs, 8 averaging about 17 kilometres each. The trail largely links existing trails such as the Coastal Pathway and Horswell Quarry, taking in beaches, estuaries, rivers, hill, bush and city views. Deputy Mayor Vicky Buck will officially open the trail next Saturday. To find out more information, head to christchurch360trail.org.nz. Well, some late breaking news for you now. Of course, the Chinese company that wants to invest quite a lot of money, in fact, $2 billion into the city. To discuss this, he's just got back from the press conference, is reporter Jared McCulloch. Jared, give us the details. What does this Chinese company actually want to invest in?
Well, that's a very good question. It's one of those things where they want to look at large-scale projects as their main focus. In the media conference we had today, most of the things that were discussed were things like hotels was brought up, for example, bringing more of them into the central city. Another one that was a talking point as well was from Raf Manji. He explained that things like the stadium could be an idea for these kind of investors to go in. Obviously, at the moment, when it comes to the stadium, it's between council and government at the moment. The council can only have capped it off at $253 million. So that rest of it could come from the private sector, which could come from this Chinese company that's willing to invest in the rebuild program.
When it comes to the CBD anchor projects, was there any discussion as to whether they would be funded by this Chinese company?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, one of the ones that was brought up was the stadium. They didn't really discuss any other ones that could be focused on at this stage. Obviously, with the stadium, that's still a long way down the track yet. I think it's about a decade away now that's been pushed out to 2025. So that was, as I said, that's one that's been brought up. But yeah, other things, as I said, hotels was the other one that could be likely what they could look into. As I said, mostly larger projects.
Right. Was there any discussion as to whether the trip that the Mayor took to China played any part in this?
Well, I think it's been, from what I understand, it's been an ongoing thing. This isn't new. This hasn't just happened from that Chinese trip. I think this has been going on for quite some time. We know too. We've covered this as well. Development in Christchurch as well. That's been something that they've been trying to push, I guess, as well to make this sort of happen as well. And it's not just Christchurch they're focusing on. There's other areas as well.
What are we looking at here? What are these images of?
These images here, I think this is just giving
of China.
China, I think it is, yeah.
So that's highly relevant, isn't it?
Yeah. So so this agreement basically is a letter of cooperation and friendship between the Christchurch City Council and Goshing International.
All right, so it's a letter of cooperation. That all sounds very nice. Does that, the same thing as a memorandum of understanding? Does this actually mean the hard cash of $2 billion is coming to the city? Do you get a sense that is happening?
Yes, that's the concrete thing. I think that's what Ref Manji mentions as well. We actually have this in the bag. Rather, I think beforehand the thing was that this is what they've been wanting, but I guess it's actually getting it signed, getting it sussed, getting it sorted, signed and sealed is the best way to put it. So yes, just to give an idea, just for the money as well that they have spent in New Zealand, just in completed projects. This is for tendering and other projects. They've already spent around $750 billion, so for investing in that as well. So a lot of money is in that.
Very good. Reporter Jerry McCulloch, thank you for your time tonight. We'll still to come the region's weather forecast. Welcome back. The Canterbury Bulls could book their spot in the National Rugby League final with a win in Wellington this Saturday. Sports reporter Gordon Finlayter caught up with the team at last night's training.
Halfway through their season and the Canterbury Bulls are in a prime position to defend their National Rugby League title.
It's been a really good start, We've sort of been working on a lot of stuff still during the week, but it's a good way to start the campaign, that's for sure.
The team made it 3 from 3 last Saturday with a win at AMI Stadium, 68 points to 14 over the Central Vipers. While it's hard to argue with the scoreline, coach Daryl Code can still see areas where his team can improve.
Ball security wasn't up there. The week before it was very good, and last week was a little bit average again. So, obviously as a coach, you like to think there's going to be something to work on every week, and we don't want to have the complete, performance yet. If we make the final, that's the day that I'd like to have the complete, performance.
This weekend's opposition, the Wellington Orcas, come into the match with a mixed bag of results, with 2 wins, a draw and a loss. Bulls captain Chris Bamford knows the Orcas can't be written off though, especially on home turf.
They draw Vakarana, and I reckon they would have rested a few last week. Hence their result losing by 2 to Northland there. So I reckon they've rested quite a few players for us to give it to us up in Wellington. So we're not taking Wellington lightly. We're just going to go out there and get the 2 points because we are playing for a trophy, a cup that we play for every year, and hopefully bring that back with us as well.
One man that stood out in the Bulls' win over the Vipers was halfback Tevin Arona. The youngster, who was recently returned from Canberra, was in scintillating form, running in a hat-trick of tries. After a run in the Canberra Raiders development system, Arona knows he'll have to keep performing at the top to secure his dream of playing in the NRL.
You really got to outplay a lot of people, and you got to stand out. You got to definitely stand out. It's hard to stand out at this national level, but it's what you got to do, and that's what they're looking for. I mean, they got a lot of players over there that want to make it, and they got a lot of depth everywhere. So it is hard to get signed up. So you got to play really well.
After gaining valuable experience across the ditch, his new coach can see just how much he's developed as a player in recent years.
Just the way he's pushing up with the ball carriers and is backing up, he knows where to run and knows where the ball's going to end up if someone does make a break. So, unfortunately we don't get a lot of them back. They do stay over there, they get over there and it's good living and warm weather and all those sorts of things, but it's great to have Tevin back, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet, and I'm sure as longer this campaign goes, the better he's going to get.
The Bulls' new star is enjoying being back in his hometown, and he's confident his new side have the goods to go back-to-back.
We're sticking well as a team, and it's my first year, so I'm loving being around the boys. I haven't met a lot of them, so no, we've been going really good, and we want to go back-to-back, and we want to finish on top. It's just whether or not we pull through. A lot of boys getting little injuries, and it's been a long season, and we've been doing good though. We've been recovering well, getting in these damn ice baths and stuff. But no, it's been good. I think we got a good chance this year.
Gordon Finlayter, CTV Sport.
Still with sport, and Canterbury have named their team for tonight's ITM Cup match against Waikato at AMI Stadium. Here's Gordon Finlayter again with the details.
A busy week for Canterbury with 3 games in quick succession means a long list of changes from the team that defeated North Harbour on Sunday. The front row has a complete swap around, with Alex Hodgman, Jed Robinson and Siate Tokalahi all given the start. In the locks, it will be JJ Manning and Ben Matwajau, while the loose forwards are also given a shake-up. Reid Prinsep, Jed Brown and Tom Sanders giving the likes of Matt Todd and Luke Whitelock a much-deserved rest. Jack Stratton will start at half-back with Mitchell Drummond on the bench, while the Canterbury backline also sees a raft of changes. Cameron McIntyre will get his chance in the 10 jersey after improving his fitness since returning from overseas, while outside of him it will be Nathaniel Upper in the 12 jersey. At 13, it's the experienced head of Ryan Crotty, with Milford Kirasoma and Tololo on the wings. Tonight's match will be a special occasion for departing Cantab Tom Taylor, who will captain the Canterbury team for the first time. The versatile Taylor starts at fullback, adding another experienced head to the Canterbury backs. Tonight's match against Waikato kicks off at 7:35 from AMI Stadium.
And now time for your region's weather forecast.
Kia ora Canterbury. Well, today, cold outside with grey and cloudy skies, drizzle patches for most places and steady rain for northern parts of the region. Today's highs first up, 11 degrees for Timaru and Waimate today, 9 for Temuka and Geraldine. Central Canterbury, Christchurch on 11 degrees along with Darfield, 10 there for Akarawa, Leeson and Ashburton and 8 degrees for you Methven. Heading further north, Kaikoura on 10 degrees along with Cheviot, Colvin and Oxford, 11 for Amberley and Rangiora and Hanna Springs on 9 degrees today. 9 degrees also shared by Arthur's Pass and Mount Cook and just 6 degrees for you Lake Tekapo. Now tomorrow unfortunately is looking cloudy and grey again. Showers for you Timaru, easterly winds pushing through and 11 degrees is your expected high. Ashburton, get your brollies out again as well. Cloudy skies with drizzle patches during the day, easterly winds prevailing and 11 degrees for your high also. Christchurch, you're not escaping the rain either. Grey skies for your Thursday, a little bit soggy there and easterly winds, 6 degrees for your morning start. Kaikoura, rain for you also, and you could also be expecting a little bit of snow to the 1400 metre mark I should say. Now, everyone else for tomorrow's temperatures, we're also expecting that rain and cold temperatures there. 8 degrees is your high Twizel and 10 for everyone else with easterly winds. Easterlies prevailing for central Canterbury as well. Could be some showers and heavy rain there, particularly for Darfield and Akarawa. 8 degrees for you Methven and 11 is the high for everyone else here. Heading further north, showers for you guys as well. Unfortunately, that rain continues and so do those easterly winds pushing through the day. 11 degrees for almost everyone apart from Hanbury Springs on 10. Sunshine though for Arthur's Pass on 11 degrees. You are the finest place to be again across the region. Now, upcoming days, Friday we're also seeing a little bit of bleak weather. However, slightly warmer temperatures, 13 degrees there for Christchurch with those northeasterly winds pushing through. Looking to Saturday, unfortunately the beginning of the weekend looking not so good, but we may just see some sun on Sunday. So if you can get through a wet Saturday with southerly winds coming through there, they should be dying out Saturday evening. Friday for the rest of the Canterbury region, easterly winds and northeasterlies pushing through for central Canterbury. Could be slightly more heavy rain for northern parts of the region on Friday. Now looking ahead to Saturday, the weekend is looking a little bit wet for some with occasional rain here and there. Southerly winds actually coming through Friday night and dying out Saturday evening. So unfortunately that bleak rainy weather is continuing over the next few days. We might be seeing a little bit of sunshine on Sunday though, but hey, it's good for the farmers and good for those beautiful spring flowers coming out very soon. And that's your weather update for Wednesday.
Thanks Mercy, and that is your local news service for Wednesday. Have a great evening.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.